spot.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I've been a little bit sick. So I was laying in bed. I'm like, oh, there's a stream going on. I click on it. And then because I type in the chat, I'm like, I need to hop on. Otherwise, I feel lazy. So I have a little bit of a headache, but let's do it.
All
Too
right,
much
great
nicotine,
stuff,
man. That's what it is. That's what
No,
the
I just
headaches come
had
from.
it's a massive issue sleeping. Like for the last 2 nights, I've been sleeping for like 3 hours.
Yeah,
Jake,
okay.
So
I'm in the same
I'll
boat,
probably
man.
crashed
I
out
would-
for like 12 hours.
yeah. Yeah. How did you feel like before you launched your project? Obviously, you've launched a
Well,
lot. But
before everything's fine because then you do all the testing and stuff, then it's fine.
yeah.
The day of, that's when it gets stressful as fuck. And then the day after, you're like, okay, I mean, it's out now.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Yeah.
I can do. Stressing won't help.
Yeah.
But stressing
yeah.
helps to make sure you do everything right. But then after that,
It's like stress and excitement, kind of like linked together.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
100%.
Mike, I'll be the guinea pig with launch
Yeah,
tomorrow.
you're gonna go first, and I'm gonna hear you out how to
Yeah,
feel
you can
tomorrow
learn.
and stuff.
Exactly.
And then a few days later, I'm gonna see how I feel.
Yeah.
So, Jake, I think we had a question here, right? And that was regarding X28. Callum, probably just repeat some of the ideas we were talking about.
Yeah, so obviously there's a lot of projects launching now that are utilizing going through X28 to burn 50% of all the Titanx that comes in. But a lot of these projects have LPs that are not mainly X28. So users will be using these LPs. So the way I view it is, because obviously for the one-to-one to work, there always needs to be a need for the X28. And if they're just going through to inflate the X28 supply and shrink the Titanx supply, it means that one-to-one could break in the future. So I was just wondering, do you think there should be like an ethos or rules if you're building on X28, not to just utilize it to burn? Obviously, it's a massive benefit burning a lot of Titanx, but for X28, it could be kind of detrimental in the future. I don't know. What do you kind of think?
Nah.
No?
I like it because you get the same end result. Because there is a couple things keeping X28 at 1-to-1. One is it's always worth 1 Titanx and the Shogun auctions. That's probably a theme you'll see everywhere. So you can always get 1-to-1 worth of value, even if it's so if X28 is trading at 0.75, one X28 gets you 0.75. You can buy X28 off market, go into the Shogun auction and get 1 Titanx worth of value out of it. So there is technical value there. You have social consensus of, hey, this is 1-to-1. Then there's a bunch of stuff that will be built specifically on X28. Because when you look at the, because I saw it on your screen here with the X28 supply stats, it's insane. It's only 12% liquid. That's insane. That's crazier than Titanx. And the buy and burn has barely even triggered. Like it's set very, very just steady because it is the backing.
I want to share that again.
Wait, yeah, Mike, pull it up. So where's all the supply gone if it's not the buy and burn?
Stats.
Oh yeah. So it's in a bunch of places.
Stats, yeah? Mm-hmm.
It's in the X28 LP for Shogun. It's in the liquidity wallet for Shogun. It's the X28 and the liquidity for Titanx X28. So yeah, only 10% is liquid. And use wallet.
We see it here, right? 10% is liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think X28 has any issues because like the buy and burn, the only thing keeping X28 from pistoning now is there's a big player that is providing liquidity between 1 and 1.02, but he's slowly getting eaten through. He looks like a good actor, so I don't have any issue with it, but he's earning LP fees. So there's a big LP position between 1 and 1.02. Once we break through that, and it doesn't require a lot, so it's just a matter of time. And probably a second product built on X28. So I think there's 5, 6, 7 protocols that are building on X28 exclusively. So there are 2 ways to do it. So the thing that you were talking about of like a protocol uses X28, but it's not the core of it.
Yes. That's
still okay because you can make your buy and burn run through X28 just by having a second pair. So for example, with Phoenix, you could have Inferno Phoenix and X28 Phoenix, and then the buy and burn just routes through X28 Phoenix because then you still get all the price positive benefit and you can still go to the X28 route without having to sell it back down again. Ideally, it's better if something is exclusively built on X28, but I like it. I like the model a lot.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
No, I agree. I think right now, obviously, it's performing amazingly. I'm talking more like, let's say, because obviously when Omni-chain comes as well, there's going to be a massive need for X28, and then all of this conversation is completely irrelevant. But let's just say, hypothetically, there's lots of projects that are routing through X28, inflating the X28 supply, and it's getting, let's say the supply of it goes to all of like the Titanx supply is transferred over to X28, and the Titanx supply, let's say it's 1 trillion, and the X28 is 10 trillion. It's going to be so difficult to maintain that ratio if there's not Shoguns built on X28 for the need, which obviously there will be. But do you think if a lot of projects are utilizing this inflation of X28, it could become an issue? Is what I'm saying in the future.
It kind of cancels itself out, because when you min X28, half the Titanx gets burned, the other half buys and burn. So that's the supply control in between there. And then these protocols built on top of X28 burn a percentage of X28. At least Shogun does. Like 20% of the X28 that enters Shogun also burnt it. So there's a lot of like inherent supply control within X28. Like look, build on X28 burned. Shogun has burned just as much as the buy and burn alone.
Which is, I can't even believe. Mike, pull up the Shogun stats. It's insane.
Shogun, right?
On Shogun, the war chest. I can't even believe how. Mike, go over 20% of the supply is in that war chest, which is insane. Like for people, like that's literally this is what I wanted to try and do with Phoenix, is just make sure there's always something in the auction balance, and you've done it throughout the LP web, and it's working so well.
Shogun is crushing it.
It actually is.
When it comes to the stats, because right now it's still within the fair supply distribution, so I never expected any crazy price movements at this point. So now we're just fairly distributing supply. There's 24-hour volume across all Shogun pairs that have volume is 955,000 today alone. Almost $1 million of volume.
Crazy.
On a $6 million asset. That is insane. So 8%. Yeah, it is insane.
And then 8% tax on that, obviously. That's why this war chest is so big, because it's fueling the auctions. And I think in my head, this is the way I think it's going to play. After the 28 days, the auctions are going to continue pretty much at a similar rate, because there's going to be so much fuel of the continuous auctions because of this LP web, because of all the volume. But the added benefit of there's not going to be people that are getting out of their stakes and maybe just trying to become liquid again.
Yes. That's a big thing that's happening now. Is there's a couple of players that are exiting their stakes. Like one guy is playing around with like 2 trillion in stakes. I won't say his wallets because I don't want to. I just like watching what's happening in the auctions. He seems like a very good actor. So what he's doing, he had a bunch of like 3,500 day stakes. He's burning them to enter Shogun, then slowly exiting Shogun into Titanx to get enough Titanx to burn his next stakes. And looks to be running through all of his stakes. He's exiting very, very slowly. So he looks like a very good actor. And he's basically just trying to get his Titanx back to enter the Shogun. So right now, a lot of the Shogun daily auction is owned by Titanx stakes. So the pressure on X28 is low currently. Most of it is Titanx stake burning. So a Titanx stake burning is Titanx stake plus liquid. So a lot of I would say like 40% of the auction is purely Titanx based, and 60% is X28. So after day 28, that stops, and it's only going to be X28. I think at that point, we're going to see the X28 effect kick in. Because right now, a lot of it is dominated by the stakes.
Yeah. It's only 16 days old, and 40% of all of it is like locked up or off market, basically. There's only 16 days old. This is insane. Like it's right now people feel comfortable selling because they know, okay, I can get in again the next day. Yes. On the next day's auction. That's going to stop after day 28. So people are going to start seriously considering whether they want to play the auction game or get out, because they know they won't get the position back. So that is going to be so interesting to see, like the sentiment shift on Shogun. Yeah.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot as well. Do you think it's a good base? Obviously, if projects building it, they're going to have to be paying the 8% and then 8%. I mean, projects don't really need to build on it for it to do well. But do you think projects should there be a kind of build on Shogun movement?
I have ideas for building on Shogun.
Okay.
We'll see how that plays out. But there is an add to whitelist function on Shogun. So if something wants to build on Shogun, we can add them to the whitelist. So then users can interact with their dApp without including the Shogun tax. But I think I would prefer. Yeah, there's a way to do it. So
wow,
that's good. Like we're probably going to enable that for Element LP pairing, because like Element has the LP manager, so that people can provide Element Shogun LP without paying taxes on both. Element 280. So it's for stuff like that. But yeah, there isn't people can build on Shogun, and if it's a good protocol, we just whitelist it and people can just engage with the dApp without. But I would actually prefer people build on X28. That's the highest level by far. Right?
Yes,
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you build on Shogun, just helps Shogun and it helps X28 by proxy. But if we want to have, so in my opinion, Shogun is like the perfect example of high impact building. Like Shogun is extremely high impact. And I want Shogun to be the example of like, here's how you build on X28. Yeah, but building on X28 is a lot better because then you have ecosystem-wide impact. If it's just build on Shogun and you only benefit Shogun, like I'll probably end up building stuff on Shogun, but other builders don't. Like it's better if they just build on X28, whether that is X28 on other chains or just X28 on Ethereum.
By the way, Jake, just a side note here. I like your new name here, the underneath name, Mr. Hyperdeflationary. Is that you? Did I forget it or did you just create it now?
I just added that. I had one before. That was pronouns, ... hyper/deflationary. Hyper-deflationary is my pronouns. I was like, that's going to tickle some people, so let's do Mr. Hyper-deflationary.
Yeah, it's probably good to turn that off.
Yeah. So another thing here which I wanted to mention is, you're basically now dominating Shogun X28, 4 and 5,
which is insane.
And you are encroaching on Hyper right now. And
we'll get
that's
there.
That's going to happen in a few days, right?
And then we're coming for Dragon X.
Oh yeah.
And then we're coming for Titanx. I don't think we can beat Titanx.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a hard one.
Yeah, that's like impossible, isn't it? Because even if there was a massive mining wave, it would still be like Titanx would have so much fuel in the buy and burns and stuff. It's gonna, it might overtake. It might like genuinely could overtake Dragon X in quite a short period of time.
They could, yeah, because X28 is only a month old and Shogun is only 16 days old. So it could.
16 days on, it's burnt 6.4?
Yep, 6.4
trillion, yeah.
Most of that is stakes. So it's stakes and 20% of the liquid Titanx. So a lot of people are using Shogun to get back liquid on their stakes, which is cool. I mean, they're using the protocol like it's supposed to be used.
I'm happy about it. There's less competition in the stake. The Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
Because I think that's like, how beneficial would that be if the Titanx pool is taken over by protocols that is just reinvesting everything? It'd be perfect. Yeah. Because it sends it out to these different, like, obviously Dragon X goes through Dragon X to support Dragon X, and then Phoenix will go through to support Inferno, and then Helios is obviously doing their stuff as well. So yeah, I think I'm just a bit jealous because I'm burning 20% of Titanx, but there's these projects that are rooting through X28 and burning 50% of everything, and they're keeping 100% of their economic power. It's like, what?
Oh yeah, man, X28 is it's the cheat code. Yeah, X28 is sick. So today I was thinking of what chains we're going to first. So base Solana are definitely on the list, then maybe Pulse Chain because there is some community overlap there. I'm leaning towards doing EVM chains first, so base, Pulse Chain, because the dev tooling is there. People are used to working with it because when we go to Solana, it's Rust, and then it's like, how do we know Rust code is secure? That's like a whole new thing we need to learn. But EVM, everybody knows how to do EVM. Like when you look at Binance Smart Chain, is also pretty high up on the volume. So you have Solana, Base, Binance Smart Chain, Sui. I don't know about that one.
I mean, yeah, you just need to attack one with a lot of, like, everything. But so you've obviously said before you want to attack Ethereum first.
Yes.
How? Obviously, you're waiting for users, but do you think there'll be a point if, I don't know, what are you kind of waiting for? Are you waiting for users, green candles, and then boom, we'll go over to Base or Solana?
I keep having this 30,000 user idea in my head. But I've been getting a lot of messages of people want to build GameFi on X28, and they just can't do it. I mean, they can do it on Ethereum. Like there's another game that just launched, TerraX. Yeah. They're doing it on Ethereum, but they're forced to do it in a way where users send their Titanx to a smart contract, and then all the computation happens off-chain, and then you go back on-chain because the gas fees are too high on Ethereum to run. Ethereum is fine for DeFi, but it's way too expensive for GameFi. So like I've been getting a lot of questions and DMs about, hey, can you deploy X28 on Base so we can build our GameFi on X28 on Base? So it might happen earlier.
Yeah, I mean, there's no harm in doing it earlier, right? Because obviously it does take a lot of time for projects to build, release stuff. So it's kind of like a slow burner. It's not like you're going to release on Base and then it's going to be like, boom, 10 projects.
Yeah,
it's going
exactly.
to take a while. So Yeah, it does make sense. And it's just kind of nice as well, because that gives an even bigger use for X28, because it's only coming from Titanx. And that's what I'm excited about. All this Titanx kind of leaving, maybe going to different chains, but the Titanx projects now are going to benefit so massively. It's going to be insane.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the X28 piston hasn't even kicked off yet. Like, most of the X28 have now been through Shogun.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual R piston hasn't even been triggering yet. And it can be triggered very, very, very quickly if you want to. So, yeah, I mean, all the machines are warming up. We're going through consolidation now. So we'll let people do whatever the hell they want to do. And then we unleash the machines.
Yeah, the machines.
Yeah, because, like, man, the deflation is... Oh, my God, I love looking at it. Like, total circulating. Yeah, it's like a wet dream.
Like
49
are you looking on Titanx website?
Yeah, Titanx.
Alright.
The stats page on Titanx.
So good, by the way, what you've done. I think it's for new users coming in. Yeah, the new one. It's just like, I think a really good landing page for people that maybe don't know about Titanx. They land and they're like, boom, here's the information.
Are we gonna show it now? Probably let's just walk through this a little bit, Jake. Can you just explain to us a little bit the website here?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
So we
obviously, one thing I like the
we-
Titanx up here, you know.
And then it's like, I like the Titan font.
So is Phoenix not when going to be put up there soon, Jake? How much do I need to?
I mean, that's on Titanx Hub.
Damn it!
Exactly.
Yeah, but
That's the prime
I wanted
spot.
to have a site that we could send people to that would just kind of like in general explain Titanx. Because if you just go to the stats page, it's like, okay, this looks interesting, but what is it? And then you need to go dig around for it. So you wanted to have like a site, a lander that people go to then go to the DApp. So if you do app.titanx.win, you go directly to the DApp. Titanx.win goes to the lander. Yeah, so I think the main narrative that we need to push is hyperdeflationary, one within a ones, DeFi 3.0. And then the main, like the 5 main, because I tried finding a lot of like bullet points on how to explain the ecosystem. I like the fully fair launch, no VCs, no pre-sales, no insiders, hyperdeflationary 3.0 ecosystem, DeFi 3.0 ecosystem, fully community owned and built, the hub of fair DeFi innovation and triple audited secure code. That's like a good overview and as little words as possible. And it's something everybody wants, because like everybody in crypto is fed up with VCs and pre-sales and insiders and getting wrecked left and right. Yeah, because like I see this all the time on Twitter. Oh my God, people go nuts over a meme coin for like 12 hours. They all make like 20% on their money, so everybody's happy. And then you don't hear about it for 12 hours. And then 3 days later, you go and look back, and then you see the meme coin is down 95% and the insiders are wrecked and there's no more LP left. But you don't see that part. All you see is people partying on Twitter. So you think memes are crushing it, but then actually, people are just tired of it. They get rugged left and right, and they try to pretend on Twitter like they're okay. The only people that are okay on Twitter are the actual KOLs that buy early, get their users in, and then they dump on their users and move on to the next thing. Those are the only people that are okay and survive. All the actual users get fucked in the ass 24/7. Like it's so bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think fair launch is massive. I think triple audited code is good. Fair DeFi innovation, community owned and built, because people are looking for community stuff now. And hyperdeflation, like that is our unique selling proposition.
And then as they find more about Titanx, it will just be more, because there is a lot of information to kind of digest and understand. But I think that's a good way of just bullet points. Like everyone's looking for that. I think everyone, like I can't believe in the rest of crypto they're not experiencing our kind of ethos that we have of fair launches, everything's safe and secure. I think people are used to just gambling and throwing money in like Hocta coin and trying to make a TEDx on it or whatever, you know. People are just gambling constantly, but crypto is not meant for that, and we're like we got the answer for it.
Oh yeah.
So Jake, here, we have a question here. We need our own chain, Jake Sharpe. Guess he's killing me.
Yeah, maybe it's definitely something that's in the back of our head.
All right. Yeah, I think you had mentioned this before. Like potentially X28 could be the gas token.
Yep.
All right.
Imagine that. Man, there's going to be no more Titanx left. Okay, so go to the stats page.
Yeah. Should I just scroll down or go to the?
Oh yeah,
stats page?
you can.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm on here. So now we have more points here. Fair launch ecosystem, proof of burn, aggressive buy and burns, decentralized builders. I think it's a beautiful site, man.
Did you make it?
The old L1 model. Oh yeah, of course I did.
Can you explain this here a little bit, probably to the viewers.
Yeah, so for people to understand what the L1 within L1 means, they also need to understand the benefits of it. Because like building a normal L1 comes with a lot of headaches and design decisions and hoping. Essentially, you have to bribe people to go to your chain because otherwise nobody wants to bridge.
Yes.
Like getting people to bridge to your chain is insanity. It's so hard because people are like, I'm comfortable here, fuck off. Like there's no reason to go to another L1. So I like the Titanx model because we go where the users are, we go where the builders already are, we go where the infrastructure is, we go where the liquidity is, we go where the volume is. So we're essentially operating as an L1 within L1, so we don't run into all the L1 issues. We don't need to raise money, etc., etc. Like people should read the website. There's a lot of benefits to the Titanx model. And I like what I put under that. So the old L1 model, aka the enriched insider at the extent of community model, and then the Titanx model, the grassroots pure crypto model. I like that a lot.
Oh,
yeah, this section basically explains it.
Nice. I like this.
It does make so much sense. Like it'd be so much more difficult to go and create your own kind of chain, but you're just piggybacking off Ethereum, which is where all the users are, it's where all the money is. It just it makes so much sense. And it's like the perfect launchpad if you did want to launch something in the future, Jake.
Oh
It's
yeah.
perfect. It's actually perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the old model is basically launch your L1 and then bribe users to come over instead of build a community through trust and time and build awesome stuff, build a community, user base that trusts you, and then launch your L1. And then people are like, oh yeah, I like this stuff. Let's go to the L1. Like it's the reverse model.
I think it makes way more sense in my opinion. So let's jump. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, here the infamous green circle. This takes you straight to the to the website.
/green.
Yes, /green. All right, great.
I mean,
let's go to the stats page.
Yeah, let's do it. When I think about it, though, it's like I think I would want to keep building on Titanx because Titanx is going to be the one that's going to benefit massively from X28. But then obviously you want to build
X28 is Titanx. So whatever happens to Titanx happens to X28 by default.
Yeah, but it's kind of like
if Titanx
X28
is
has been like, yeah. It's, the way I picture it though is like Titanx has been like hoovered, and the Hoover is X28, and then all of that Titanx goes to different places. But Titanx is going to be so scarce and like even more hyper-deflationary. It's going to be insane. I'm so happy I've got a Titanx stake with Phoenix now. Yes.
Yeah, so the total circulating and total burn, because man, it was so hard handling in Telegram. Like people are like, it's not deflating. I'm like, just add up the numbers. And then I'm like, okay, people are too lazy to just even add up the numbers. So I was like, okay, let's put it on top. So total circulating, 49.47%. This was 51% 6 days ago. So we burned 1.5% of the supply in 5-6 days.
Crazy.
That is insane. That's more hyper-deflationary than anything that exists. Because like this, another fur item that comes up is scarcity doesn't matter without demand. But the thing that people don't get is the scarcity comes from the demand. Titanx doesn't just get magically burned out of user wallets. It's because users want to use their Titanx, that they have demand to go into something, and while doing that action, it burns a percentage of the Titanx. So the burning is coming directly from demand of the ecosystem. Like that, that's like it's such a reverse FUD. Because we can't magically burn Titanx. People need to want to do something within the ecosystem, which then results in scarcity within Titanx. So yeah, the burning comes from demand. So when you combine scarcity and when you combine demand, that's a pretty epic formula. Yeah, and right now it's just consolidation period. People are like doing whatever the hell they're doing. But then once we go. It's almost alt season.
Fantastic.
I think
just one thing here is these are the numbers essentially. If you go and look at Etherscan, these are the numbers you see, right? They're total circulating. Is that correct?
No, it's a little bit different because staked doesn't show on Etherscan, so stake gets added into circulating.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think
that's so that's why I recommend everybody always look at the stats page because this is the most accurate.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's good. I'm just going to Etherscan and looking at that.
I mean,
I can't wait for circulating to drop under 100 trillion.
Oh yes,
that's nice to look at.
Jake, when you obviously look at all these numbers and you're looking at all of this kind of data, and then there are people that are fudding and people selling and massive whales leaving the system, what's kind of going through your head?
It's just part of the game. I've been in crypto for so long. I've been through everything. It's just as the thing that helped me the most in crypto is when you build a position in something, you just sit in it until it's time to leave. That's it. And what happens in between there? Because I explained this idea to my dad, and this kind of idea made a click for him. It's like when, let's say something's at $1. Yeah, $1. And then during a 2-week period, it drops from $1 to 60 cents. And then after 2 weeks, like on day 15, it goes up to $1.10. If you were staring at the chart, you would have the horror of $1 to 60 cents, to 70 cents, 80 cents, 60 cents, and then back to $1. If you just close your eyes for 2 weeks, all you saw is from $1 to $1.10. Zero emotional damage. So it's just, as long as you have your time frame in crypto, everything becomes so easy because you can just, this is my thesis. I see it play out. There's on-chain evidence. We can track the statistics. Like, this is true. Adoption is up. Supply is down. Demand is there. Builders are here. There's plans to expand the ecosystem, etc. That is a very easy, like, I go in this, trust the process, this is my time frame, and then just kind of ignore everything that happens in between. Because if you're not going to do anything anyway, the staring is just emotional damage. It's like cutting your own wrist, basically. It's like you're not going to make a move anyway. Why get so caught up in the moment? So yeah, I like that explanation a lot. So I've always been like that. Like, this is a time frame, and anything that happens in between there, who cares?
I was watching an old stream, and it was when you actually were the day before you launched Titanx, and you predicted the Bitcoin top was going to be March 13th, I think. Do you think that is still
it is a time range?
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to get the community focused on one specific date as the founder, because that's generally not a good strategy.
Yeah.
But this cycle is interesting. Like, imagine if countries actually start doing Bitcoin strategic reserves. That's going to be interesting.
Yes.
Because like the US has indicated interest. Now, whether they're actually going to do it, that's the next question. So like now it's like all speculation. They've been saying it, but they're actually going to do it. There's 2 or 3 other countries that are kind of announcing it. So not like the game theory is kicking in, because if you know one massive country that's going to buy it, and you want to keep your competitive advantage, you need to go first before they do it. And then like 20, 30 different countries are thinking the same thing. It's like game theory of who goes first. So who knows? This cycle might play out differently. Like right now, we're in the stage where Ethereum should start outperforming Bitcoin. This is roughly the time when it happens at. When you look at like, I was watching this stream from Benjamin Combe. He's great at like macro stuff for like general cycles.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, often he's off on like cycle top, like ranges and stuff, but like his actual theory and his metrics are really good. Yeah, but now we're entering the stage where Ethereum starts outperforming Bitcoin. That usually happens later on, which is indicative of all season. Because like when you think about it, Bitcoin is a $1.8 trillion asset. Ethereum is 400 billion-ish. How much is Ethereum? Yeah, 470 billion. So 1.8 trillion, 470 billion. So when people in Bitcoin are like, okay, yeah, Bitcoin has not much more to run up this cycle, 100 million leaves, goes into Ethereum, and Ethereum is like, oh, it's that time in the cycle, it's entering alt season. If just $1 billion leaves Ethereum to enter into alts, a lot of these liquidity pools are only like $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. If 30 million enters a $3 million liquidity pool, that's 100x. So like that's why you get these alt seasons, just crazy outperformance and everything in like a 3-4 month window. It's because the liquidity pools are so much smaller and the market caps are so much smaller. So even a tiny sliver percentage of Bitcoin and Ethereum rotating into alts causes this massive wave of alt season. So that's when it gets interesting.
Yes, sir.
That's what it's like.
I'll be back. I'll be back in a second. Yeah, you just continue.
Yeah.
Okay, so Phoenix is launching tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. Oh my god, I'm so excited and nervous at the same time. I'm obviously my first launch, but 19 hours. Let's fucking go. Nice. I'm so excited, man. How do you kind of deal with launch days? What's your process?
Don't sleep, walk around a lot, listen to intense music, and then just stress out until it's life. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
And 100 double check everything. Double check as much as you can. If you're going to be stressed anyway, you might as well just be stressing, double checking.
Yeah. I've been testing. I feel like I don't think I've left my house for like 3 days. Genuinely, I've just been like a robot. But it's also worth it. I can't wait to get out. Like, I think it's. Yeah, I'm excited to see, because obviously everything's an experiment. You don't know what's going to happen, but I can't wait to kind of see what happens. See how it plays out. Phoenix
is built on Titanx inside of Inferno.
Yes. So on top of Inferno, yeah.
Yep. So Phoenix is paired with Inferno. What do you need to enter?
Titanx to enter.
And then what happens with the Titanx?
The Titanx, so it gets split. So 35% goes to the buy and burn, and then the rest kind of gets split between the free stakes. So we have a Flux stake, Blaze stake, and Titanx stake. So it's going to build up those free stakes to then get the rewards to then further fuel the buy and burn in the future.
Okay, so you have Phoenix people go in with Titanx. That Titanx, a percentage, because you also have the perpetual auctions, right?
Yes. So the way the buy and burn works is 50%, similar to Shogun, 50% gets burnt. The other 50% goes to the auction balance.
Got it. Okay, so people go in with Titanx. It gets split across 3 stakes. And also a little bit goes directly to the buy and burn, if I remember.
Yes, 35%.
Yeah, okay, so 35%, the Titanx buys Inferno, buys Phoenix, burns it. Then the 3 stakes get built. These stakes spit out Blaze is Ethereum, Flux is Titanx, Titanx is Ethereum. These stake and payouts, they go by, if it's Ethereum, they go by Titanx, Inferno, Phoenix, burn. If it's Titanx, it just goes Inferno, Phoenix, burn. So you basically have perpetual staking, burning Phoenix. And Phoenix, by default, gets the price appreciation of the Inferno Kingdom. Is that a good summary?
Yeah, that's a good summary, yeah. And
okay.
I mean, I love what you've done with Shogun, and I think I went through a similar thought process. Is you want to sustain these projects for as long as possible, and obviously you're doing that with the LP web. But the theory behind Phoenix is these free stakes are going to be fueling that buy and burn forever. As long as Titanx is around and we have a slice of the pie for the stakes, we're always going to be around fueling the buy and burn. And then obviously Flux is a super leverage on top of Inferno. It's the biggest Inferno burner as well. So if we can help support Flux, it's like this massive flywheel that burns more Inferno, which boosts Phoenix, and then we support Flux more, and Flux gives out more rewards, and it's like this whole thing. And then Blaze obviously gives safe and secure Ethereum payouts.
That's nice. I like it. Shogun also has, so the biggest pairs for Shogun are X28, Titanx. Those are the 2 biggest ones. And then the second biggest ones are Volt, Dragon X, Inferno. Because they're kind of like the kingdom coins. So you have Volt, which kind of has a kingdom built around it. You have Dragon X built around it. Inferno built around it. So like that's why it's the biggest LPs on Shogun. Like X28, Titanx are obviously the biggest. Because that's also where a lot of the oddbots eventually go back through. So the LPs need to be the thickest. Yeah. So bump Inferno.
Yeah.
You're gonna help Shogun.
Yeah, and that's like, I don't think anyone's really looking at Inferno, and I love it because it's like 2.5 million market cap, and obviously we're kind of piggybacking whatever Inferno does in the future, and there's like 3 projects launching within the next month or few weeks that are going to be supporting Inferno as well. So I think if Inferno can start moving, obviously everything on top of it is just going to start pumping as well, which I cannot wait for.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is going to get interesting because right now everything's kind of consolidating together with Titanx. Because it's like when Ethereum consolidates, everything on Ethereum consolidates. When Titanx consolidates, everything on Titanx consolidates.
Yeah.
But then once it starts running, like for example with Shogun, so Shogun today has $955,000 of volume across all pairs, all burning, feeding the war chests, liquidity, etc. That's 965,000 now.
That's insane.
That is with a consolidation race on Titanx and low volume. Because usually when you enter, this is not financial advice, all hypothetical, but when you enter a bottom period, volume slows down significantly, which is usually a bottoming sign. Right now, at the lowest volume, we're doing almost $1 million a day in volume on Shogun.
That's what, and then when you look at the stats for Shogun as well and how well it's performing, and the whole system is like so aggressive that if you did start picking up, the buy and burn is like that aggressive. It's all recycled to even bump it up, and that's the way the auctions are like programmed. It could get insane. Like it can really get insane. Like it's such a good point. It's performing this well at this low period. Imagine if everything kind of picks up again.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah. So how does it support all the LP pairs? So you said obviously the main kingdoms is where the biggest LPs with, but how does it kind of support them?
So there's 2 ways liquidity gets fed. One is 8% of the buy and burn. So the Shogun that's bought by the buy and burn, 8% goes towards liquidity. And from the war tax, 8% of that war tax also goes towards liquidity. So with the war tax, 64. Yeah, 64%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 64% goes to the war chest, 28% gets burned, and 8% goes towards liquidity. So that, because we need to get the other side. So one interesting thing that Shogun also has is it needs to buy these tokens to pair them with Shogun. So Shogun has actually been a big buyer of a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Because it gets Titanx and X28, and then it needs to use that Titanx to buy the one side. So for example, with the Inferno pair, it needs to buy Inferno and then pair it with Shogun to grow the liquidity pool. Yeah, so Shogun has been a big buyer. And the other cool thing is like this is another interesting part is all these liquidity pools, every time volume runs through it with the RPOT, 0.3% is the Uniswap P2 fee. So on $1 million of volume, for example, so 0.3% of that is $3,000. So if you get $1 million of volume across all the pairs, that means $3,000. Yeah, $3,000 of all the tokens it touches essentially get locked in the liquidity pool forever of everything. Inferno, Volt, Shogun, Dragon X, all the tokens that get touched essentially get stuck in the liquidity pool forever. So Shogun is indirectly burning the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, which is like, and Shogun's here, like the way Shogun is so well designed that it's going to be sustainable forever, as long as all the projects are alive, and you can even add more LPs.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it. Like you could add all these LPs, and there's always going to be this volume as long as Titanx is alive. And it just means everything's becoming more scarce because you're just locking up more and more of the supply of everything. It's so wild. Yep. How soon can Phoenix get an LP?
Pretty soon.
Yeah, I guess.
Because right now we're feeding the main LPs because we want to get them to a certain size. Because I've seen a very direct correlation between LP size and orb volume, because they can operate with bigger amounts. So we're trying to get the main pairs, X28, Titanx, thick enough where they can go through at max volume. And then the secondary pairs, Dragon X, Volt, Inferno, those are going to be the second biggest, and then the rest is just going to scale over time. But we're trying to get those the thickest, because then the most volume can run through those. Because like if a bunch of Dragon X is stuck in the Shogun LP, if a bunch of Volt is stuck in the Shogun LP, if a bunch of Inferno is stuck in the Shogun LP, all that volume burns those as well, which indirectly benefits everything built on top of those. So like that's why we want to have the thickest LPs there. Yeah, and also the reason we did the thickest X28 and Titanx LPs is because most of the volume is running through those two. And every time it runs through it, Titanx gets locked in that pool, X28 gets locked in that pool. So it's like this massive black hole. I like it. It's turning out better than expected.
When you put it that way, that is huge, because obviously a lot of these projects are building on these kind of kingdom tokens or however you want to call them. But if you're burning Inferno, all the as in the main focus or Dragon X, all the projects built on top benefit massively because it's all leveraging those kind of core tokens. So, man, I'm so bullish on Shogun. I've been DCA'd in. I cannot wait.
What have you been? I've just been going in every day in the auctions because I was like, okay, this period I'm just going in every day. Because like what you notice with these auctions is the first day is always the busiest, then it goes down a little bit, then kind of finds like an average. Some days you get amazing deals. Some days it's like, okay, it's busier today. But right now it's day 16. So there's 12 more days to go after this. And then all the supply is out. Like liquid has been deflating with the supply inflating.
I know.
At that point, I'm like, okay, this thing's a beast.
And it's not even like small amounts of inflation. Like it's like a lot coming out. Yeah, it's big coming out each day, but it's being eaten up like at an insane rate. And I even like, I can't wait to see what happens because obviously, like you said before, there are some whales, a lot of users as well, I think, that are trying to just make their stakes liquid instead of having it locked up. But after 28 days, that ends. And there's like...
Yeah, and then if they want to go into Shogun and build their position, after they've gotten all their stakes out, they need to go through X28 because that's the only way to get Shogun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
yeah, that the first point that I had about X28 is just like, if there wasn't anything built at all, it might have more power, but like Shogun is just such a beast. It's going to be this constant hoover, just sucking up X28 constently. It's going to be so interesting. It's going to be so interesting. So
yeah, I don't think X28 has any issues.
Yeah. So are there any other projects? Last time I spoke to you, you said you just wanted to chill, just do some other stuff, but are there any project ideas that you've kind of come up with?
Yeah, my mind is always running with stuff. It's just, what is the most high impact? So like figuring out an X28 game plan for the other chains is high on the list now. The other thing is I want to build tooling for the community to better onboard people, like explainer videos, the site, like Titanx.win, to send people to that explain the ecosystem, or like at least give a general overview. I also want to have like a media page that automatically loads all the YouTube videos that mention Titanx, and then has the AI screen through the transcript to make sure they're not talking negatively about Titanx, because then they get excluded. So like I want to build a bunch of tooling that like, hey, check out the media page for Titanx, and then it just automatically loads all the Titanx streams, like good educational content, and then we'll have an AI filter through that. There's like a bunch of ideas that I have for tooling to make it easier to onboard people.
It's like we have everything perfect with the tokenomics, with all the game theory. It's just users is like kind of a different. Is obviously they come with all of this really intense, awesome tokenomics, but it is more difficult to onboard new users. So having stuff like that, especially trying to understand everything that's going on, I think could be huge for sure.
Yeah, I actually don't think we have an onboarding issue. Like when you look at adoption, we're now at 19,561 users. Not too long ago, that was like 19,000. So we're still adopting users throughout a consolidation, which is usually a very good sign.
You know what it is though? It just feels like we should have like 100,000 users. I think that's what people. It feels like we should have. Me off. Yeah. It's like why? What 100,000 users? I think it's soon. I think 100% has like this stream that I watched, Jake. You were like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see hopefully 20 projects build this bull run. And now we're like gonna double that, and we like there's probably another double coming as well. So I think the amount of users is like so difficult to predict because we are so small, but it could be like completely exponential and huge.
Yeah, so I'm working on onboarding the education tooling to make it easy for the community to share and explain the ecosystem to people. Eric is working on like KOLs and like more mainstream marketing. I'm thinking about stuff that can be done organically.
Gotcha.
Like for example, it's impossible for me to outwork a community of 19,500 people. So if you can activate a larger percentage of the community to share things, that will do more than I could do working 24 hours a day and never sleeping. So my goal now is how do I activate the community and make it easier for onboarding, education, etc. Yeah, so that's a big place my mind is at now. X28 Omni-chain is a big part of that.
Yeah, it will be massive, I think.
UJ Crypto, how's it going, brother? Are you on?
He's muted.
Yeah, sorry. I was focused on the chat. I'm over here. I like the chat. The chat's always fun for me. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad.
Good, pretty good,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward for Callum tomorrow, man.
Let's go, Phoenix. What's up with these surprise streams? Not even shared anywhere. I'm sharing them all over Telegram before I even try to jump in, so everybody knows. Yeah, just a shout out. We're gonna be streaming with Crypto Awesome here in about 30 minutes. Me and Dude, we're gonna go over stacks, and then we're gonna talk about Draco, one of his new projects coming out too. So Bad Sports brought up the other day that Draco may be something that stacks could participate in, and so maybe we can benefit each other. So I reached out to Dave, and he's like, yeah, let's stream, let's do it. So I like Dave anyway. I'm kind of a fanboy anyway of Dave. I love his passion.
Yeah, and stacks on the 22nd, right?
Yes, sir.
Someone's launching.
I know.
22nd.
It's
the second wave. It's like the second wave is coming now, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So if Phoenix, go on, Jake.
If you're a protocol, launching during the lows is the best thing you could possibly do, because you get default price appreciation just by launching during the lows. There's a lot of benefits. You can fill your entire protocol with cheap Titanx. Like that. Yeah, there's a lot of benefits to it.
This is my whole thought process. It's like I think this is such a good time. Like, when would you buy in something that you believe in at a dip? I think launching a project's very similar. Like you say, if everything pumps, you're just going to carry that pump, and you get everything at a discount, which is going to be I think it's a good time. All of us, it's a good time, I feel like.
Yes, sir.
So we have Phoenix, Matrix, Stacks. I think Felix also launched.
Oh yeah,
I think Felix launched like 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah.
That's like 4 things in 2 weeks.
I think Gold
No, 3 weeks.
X is also launching on the 28th or something. Is that
28th.
not correct?
I think so.
Yeah, so
I think-
something needs to launch on the 28th, so that's
Yeah.
good.
I was initially thinking on the 28th, but yeah, I went for the 17th.
Goat X. I think Goat X is launching on the 28th.
Exactly.
Not sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, have to
Yeah.
go to their Telegram to verify. You got on
Goat X,
Titanx Hub there?
I have it here,
Let's
but
see.
they haven't told me to update it yet. So
Okay, so that is not confirmed. I don't want to be taking arrows.
It may or may not be.
May or
Just
may
clean
not
website.
be.
but they have their website here ready.
It's a good website.
That's clean.
That is really clean.
They have a countdown
it.
timer on there.
I'm not sure they have it yet, but I know that's my designer did this. I know that.
Oh,
Nice.
nice. Yeah, it's
Yes.
clean. Looks good. So, yeah,
Very nice.
but just a rumor. Just a rumor about the 28th. Don't kill me,
28
Irish.
Helios wrote here 28, so that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have Taurus Q1 as well, I think, and Flare early January, I think, or January. Yeah, I think he said he wanted to get it out before the end of the year, but it'll be around that period as well. So there is,
Yeah.
all these projects.
Also,
coming out.
Uroboros,
Yeah,
ORX. And I think he also
Yes.
wants to launch the DApp, the actual lending DApp. The borrowing, the borrowing, the multi-collateral lending. Or borrowing. What do you say? It's multi-collateral lending? Because you borrow, right?
Yeah, I think they
Multi-collateral borrowing against
just merge it together.
yeah, exactly. There's multi-collateral borrowing on the entire Titanx ecosystem. I think is also going live in December, like they're finishing up final audit.
That's gonna be scary. That's like pure. That's gonna be.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see some DGen plays there for sure. But it's gonna be huge as well. There's gonna be like if you can understand it, it's gonna be huge. But I'm a bit scared of users maybe leveraging up their positions a bit too much.
I think it's going to be fine because when you look at other ecosystems that have borrowing like Ethereum, it's just fine. Like nothing really goes wrong. It's just like the degens. Okay, if they go 2 G-gens, they get liquidated. But then like I'm the type of guy, I don't like selling stuff. So if I can borrow against it in a safe protocol, so that will take some time to like validate itself. I actually prefer borrowing because I don't know, I don't like selling stuff. Because I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do with these dollars? Like if there's no reason to spend it, like why do I have it? It's just literally losing value. So I like being in crypto and something like multi-collateral borrowing. I like it a lot. Yeah, and over time it will prove to be more secure, so people will trust it more, and then bigger players will start using it, which is a massive supply sink. And then we have our own stablecoin. That's great for marketing.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Imagine, Titanx ecosystem has their own stablecoin. Crazy, right?
we only have
Man, our
19,000
ecosystem
users.
Our ecosystem is so grossly underrated. It's so insane. Like when I look around crypto, like I'm like, none of this can compete with Titanx. None of it. So like literally the only thing we need to focus on is marketing. If we can get the word out and people see it, then they're like, this is a fucking no-brainer. Why am I the only person here? And I've seen this all over the place in crypto where like you have these amazing protocols that get built, and just because they suck at marketing, it doesn't work. And then all of a sudden some big dude picks it up or whatever and starts getting steam, and then it explodes out of nowhere. Because like if people are not stupid, if they see like, holy shit, it's a fucking great ecosystem, why is nobody talking about this? And then it just snowball, and then we're off to the races. So like cracking marketing is the big thing we're focused on now.
I remember in the early days of Titanx, a whale caught on and he just came in. I don't know if you remember this, Jake. They called him the Kraken. The community just started calling him the Kraken, even though Kraken isn't a whale. They called him the Kraken. And he just came in and started buying, man, like big clips, 50,000, 100,000. And he did that for a few days. And that kind of ignited everything, man.
Yeah, I remember that was like the first days. Yep. Yeah, I remember that.
Was that first big pump that happened before? Like, that was that big influx of users, and the chart reflected it perfectly. It was a massive uptick before people started claiming their miners. Was that around that period?
No, it was earlier. I think it was during the first month. Some big guy came in, and then he staked.
He wasn't even playing. It's like these guys come in and they don't know nothing about, like, he wasn't mining, he wasn't doing anything. He was just buying. You know.
Yeah. I mean, right now you can't. Like, there's no, like with Titanx, there's no more games to really play. It's just hyperdeflationary core asset. That's it. That's the pitch. Like, there's no mining. Like, mining is zero. Like, there's zero supply coming out. We're burning 0.3% of the supply every day. Still. So we're a hyperdeflationary core asset with multiple protocols built on top of it that will have its own stablecoin. Like, my God, it's so good. It's just marketing. We just need to get the word out. That's it. And a lot of that is community activation. Like, we have a community of 19,500 people that like this ecosystem and see the uniqueness of it. If we can activate a larger percentage of the community, just amplify the marketing messages that everybody's pushing out, we can go from 10 million impressions across the community to 100 million in like 2 weeks. It's just activating people to get them off their lazy ass and just click a button on Twitter, which is retweet. like that's all it takes.
It's good. I think it's going to happen. So, how do you feel? Eric had an amazing stream when he was talking about kind of KOLs. How do you feel about them for like a marketing standpoint?
You need a good value proposition. So Titan Farms is great because Titan Farms is easy to explain. It's like a DeFi farm that has a valuable token because it has a buy and burn back in it from the LP fees. Everybody's interested in that. Farming is very, very universal. So I think his angle on promoting Titan Farms I like a lot. Because it's easy marketing. You can share a screenshot. Everybody sees the APR. That's all they need to go click on the website and do some research. It's just, you get the click. You just need to get the click on like, what is this? And then they go do their in-depth research. So I think Titan Farms is a perfect entry point for like new people. And then, what is Titanx? What is DragonX? Oh, holy shit, what the hell? Like that. It's always like that. It's just one thing that piques your interest, and then you do a little bit of research, and then you get hooked. I'm the same.
I
usually just one sentence. You just one sentence, and you're like, that's interesting. And then you click around, and then before you know it, you're completely down the rabbit hole.
That's exactly how I came into Titanx. It's literally one sentence.
How did you come in, actually, Callum?
Oh yeah, it was literally a 30-second video on Kyle Chase, this YouTuber, and I think they captured the video as like, it was like the next 1000x gem or something. I'm not proud of that, but then it was like a 30-second clip, and it was just talking like Titanx had just come out, and I can't even remember what he said. He was talking more about Jake, and he was like, "This guy's figured it out," and I was like, "You know what? I'll go watch the Jake white paper run through," and that I was just like, "Holy shit!" And like I had to watch it a few times. But it was that holy shit moment, like the light bulb moment, and you're like, yeah, I think this could be huge.
Yeah, I remember talking to Carl. Like, he's pretty big. I think he has like 350,000 on YouTube. Like, we were in DMs very early on. Like, he was interested.
Why do you think he stopped?
Because I think what he did, he bought. I think he didn't really have like, because he's super busy, so he has like multiple things he's looking at. So he was like, "This is interesting. I've never seen this before," and he probably just bought and forgot about it. I think we need to try and re-engage him. Carl Chassis. He's great. I like him a lot.
I think he's got a really big audience. Like really, really big.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, but he liked it a lot. He liked... This is what big guys like. It's fair launch. It was the fair launch narrative. He was like, this is cool. Because he's also used to like all the other stuff. He's like, people are looking for fair launches. That idea got him hooked initially, and then he started doing his research, and then he got hooked on the tokenomics and like the design. I don't think he has seen the upgraded Titanx with all the things built on top of it, because build on Titanx came like 3 months later, where we all decided like, hey, we're doing this. So I think he only saw the initial, which was just the tokenomics and the protocol, which is interesting, but it's not like, okay.
Yeah.
You know? But then the build on Titanx, that's what I got really interesting. So trying to re-engage him is going to be big.
I think
he's going to be like, oh,
yeah, it only takes a few of these big names though to get hooked, interesting, and like. I can't stop talking about it. I'm sure they'd be the same. Everything's fair. Like everything built here, it just makes sense and it's better than majority of crypto. So I think 100%. It's just getting those few big names in.
I think Eric is going to go on Ivan on Tech, or Titan Farms is going to get featured on Ivan. Because like me and Eric have had this bromance with Ivan for so long. Like back in the day, Ivan used to watch my streams and like comment on my streams and stuff like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Like we've always been following each other on Twitter, so he's very aware. But then he mentioned on one of his streams, like I think 4 months ago, like DragonX, Titanx, what is this thing? And then he started talking about dragons and shit. I'm like, okay, he doesn't get it yet.
I think I saw that too.
So Eric, I think Eric met him in real life, and then he has better grasp of the ecosystem now. So Titan Farms is probably going to get featured on Ivan on Tech. So yeah, we're getting there.
No, that's really great news. I also saw that when he did the stream. I thought like maybe he's playing around a little bit, man, because like he made Eric, man. I think Eric gave him like showed him what it is, but he was just like, oh, what is this?
I love Ivan. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. By the way, was this the guy, Callum, you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, this
Kyle
guy.
Chesney?
Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy, man. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking in DMs like in the first days of Titanx.
Really?
Like, he's a cool dude. Yeah.
The question is like, how the fuck did he pick it up then?
Honestly,
I think. Good question.
Was he following you before, perhaps? No.
Let me check. Yeah. He was. Yeah, we follow each other on Twitter.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Even still now.
All right, that's great.
So he
man. That's
probably sees me spamming Twitter all day long. So I think he knows.
good. It's like, oh, this thing is still around. Okay, good. I think it's good that he sees that.
you
Or
need to
they
reach
just
out.
see what's ranking, on Ethereum. They watch that stuff too. So if they see something high ranking and it's not a pump and dump and it stays up there for a while, I think it piques their interest.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Mike, how did you get in? Obviously an OG,
mean-
but when was it?
I mean, the thing is, I was following Jake before, so that was that, and then I saw like, well, obviously when the marketing started with Jake, I was like, let me look at this stuff, and then I mean, I just like I think a few months earlier, I was like, I started making videos on YouTube, like explainer videos, and then when it came out, I was just like, oh, this is the best thing. Is like I need to understand this thing anyway. Let me do my drawings. Like I do this personally anyway when I want to understand something, right? Like I just draw it out and think about stuff. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna make a video. And then I was on the Telegram asking questions. I remember with Jake, is like, I asked so many questions, like, yeah, but what do you do with this? And all the questions were answered. I was like, all right. Well, I guess I need to participate now.
It's a good sign.
Yeah. And now we're here, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's
More
so crazy
than
how far
1
we've
year
got.
ago.
Yeah, in such a short amount of time as well.
Yeah.
Now it's just marketing. That's it. The entire game is marketing. So I think the big narratives we need to push is hyperdeflationary, DeFi 3.0, completely fair. Fair launch ecosystem, DeFi 3.0, hyperdeflationary. I think those are like the 3 bullet points. Because because I've been an investor in crypto for so long. If I see hyperdeflationary, fair, and then DeFi 3.0, which kind of a own narrative, like it doesn't exist. Like we just made up the word, which is great. Which means that it doesn't automatically link to something else in people's heads. It's like DeFi 3.0, what is this? Hyperdeflationary. So I think if we just hammer those points all over social media all the time, all it takes is like one green candle and everybody's like, holy shit, I heard about that thing. And then, that's usually how it kickstarts. Because like the marketing, the effect you get when consolidation ends is a result of the marketing that happened during consolidation. Because people hear about it and they see like, oh, halftime, like it's consolidating, And then once it starts, that's when people are like, oh, okay, holy fuck, I need to get in now. And that's when you go on to do the next thing.
Yeah. I don't think it's a matter of like if, it's just a matter of when. Like we have everything built and it's just waiting. But obviously we can kind of speed run things and really try and reach. And we're doing such a good job so far. All the green circles, all the organic kind of marketing. But it is just trying to reach kind of like retail, like reach everyone to get, because what we have is great. It's just kind of communicating it to the wider market.
So I'm considering a couple things now. I think building some type of TikTok team is good. YouTube Shorts. Also AI agents. I don't know how to build those. Like autonomous AIs on Twitter that just market Titanx hard all day long. That might be coming. There's a lot we can do for marketing. It's just everything becomes more effective if the community is activated. It's like if it's just like an AI agent and nobody interacts with it, it doesn't share it out, and like it doesn't get any like visibility and impressions, then it's useless. But if you have a community of like 90,000 people like interacting with it, sharing it out, oh, it's interesting, that's when you reach a bunch of people. Yeah, it's just all about community activation because that makes every piece of marketing more effective. Like imagine if Ivan on Tech mentions Titan Farms, but then like 5,000 people start like engaging and going nuts and all the green circles in his comments, that sticks. If it's just like 2 people commenting, it's like, okay, that was kind of a flop. If the entire community activates, then it's like, holy shit, there's people here. Yeah, so the community activation is the biggest part.
Do you think targeting, like not targeting, that's a bad word, like like if there's a big influencer, just really trying to get them informed and kind of raiding their streams and really trying to push across what Titanx is. Do you think that could be a good?
Yeah, I think one thing we're lacking in the ecosystem, because we do a lot of streams, which is great. One thing we're missing is just short to the point videos with like more marketing clickbait style titles, like all the other big YouTubers. Just like short 3 to 4 minute videos explaining like what's going on in the ecosystem or what's launching and all that stuff with good thumbnails and good titles. That's going to be big because the streaming angle we have covered. It's just the videos and then clipping them up. Like you do a lot of clips. Those are great. YouTube Shorts, TikTok. I think there's like 2-3 people doing like TikToks now about Titanx. That's good. And they're getting decent engagement. Like for new accounts, they're getting really good engagement. Like TikTok, activating there, posting the shorts there. Yeah, it's just more short consumable content. I think if we hammer hyperdeflationary DeFi 3.0 fair launch ecosystem, those are 3 big selling points. And that's enough to get people interested. So if everybody starts, I don't like this word, but like parroting the same 3 points, then it's like it's congruent. Because like a big idea in ad, I used to be a media buyer and I used to build ad funnels and stuff to convert people through Facebook ads. I also ran a little bit of TikTok ads, etc., but mainly Facebook ads and YouTube ads. Congruence was the biggest thing. It's congruence. So, for example, if you have an ad that mentions blue pills, well, it might be a horrible example, but let's use it because it's easy.
Yeah.
Blue pills, and then people click on the ad and they go to a website that mentions green pills. There's miscongruence and you cut your conversion by like 60%. It's massive. So like when you talk about blue pills and then you go to a website that has a blue pill image, your conversions go up by like 2x because it's congruent with the click. So like if the entire community can start talking about hyperdeflationary DeFi 3.0 fair launch ecosystem or hyperdeflationary core asset and just hammer these 3 points all the time, then it becomes congruent across the board and that's how you build brand. And then the green circles, the three main selling points, the statistics, etc. But like hammering those in different angles, yeah, congruent is going to help a lot. So yeah, I'm thinking about ways to do it, like to build tooling for the community so that like the marketing message gets more crystal clear.
Get that OG email list. You remember I remember our stream. You said that you made email marketing before it was like a big thing. Yeah. Just get that everyone just start spamming. But I suppose it's like you have to do it in a way that's like not too spammy. That's why like doing ads and stuff might not be the best. It's like organic's always better.
I mean, ads were great. Ads worked if it was an education-based funnel where you had really good videos explaining it. Like you have unique angles on it. Like, hey, this thing is unique because of XYZ, because of ingredient XYZ, or because of this specific method. Like there's a lot of like ad stuff. Hyperdeflationary DeFi 3.0. DeFi 3.0 is our hook, big hook. Hyperdeflationary DeFi 3.0. That's the hook because it's unheard of. It's a category of one. That's big. Like Titanx, you can't compare Titanx to anything else. Like it's completely unique. It's a category of one. It's a 101. Which means it's harder for people to understand initially, which is why we need to simplify the language. But then once they understand it, they're sticky because it's like nothing like this exists. Like this is unique. It has a massive moat. Because like you can copy Titanx tokenomics and you're gonna just fall flat on your face because there's no community, there's no builders. The magic in Titanx is the builders, and that you can't just copy paste that shit.
Yeah,
you need to be on streams. You need to have a reputation. Like you need to be around for a long time. There needs to be trust. Like there needs to be an ethos that everybody agrees with. If some random scammer is like, oh, let's make some quick money, copy the tokenomics, ain't nobody building on that shit, and it's gone after a week. So like. Yeah, we have a big moat. It's just marketing. Like Eric is working on the mainstream stuff. I'm working on community activation.
Yeah, and I think he said he's announcing something on. It was on the stream with you, Mike. He said on the 15th he's got an announcement.
Yeah, I think he mentioned something like on the 15th something is starting. So, well, hopefully that's like a new start again.
Yeah.
Well, we got that big Hydra unlock, right?
When is that? Is that tomorrow?
Is it day 88? When is it? Tomorrow or is it day after tomorrow?
I think tomorrow.
It's tomorrow already.
Tomorrow. Or the day after? No, I think it's the day after. Tomorrow and the day after.
So in my mind, there's probably something that coincides there.
I think so. Yeah.
Just complete speculation.
Maybe.
But
I mean, Hydra is a perfect example. Hydra is a perfect example of irrationality because the buy and burns are bigger than the entire market cap, including everything that comes out after day 88. And
That's
like,
insane.
yeah, because this is completely irrational. So when you look at Titan Farms, it's
Let me-
loading.
let me-
Dragon X Hydra has 160% APR, so people could just claim that Hydra mine is going to Titan Farms and just wait for the buy and burn to do his thing. So I get the APRs are insane. Look at those APRs. It is such easy marketing.
Oh, here, yeah, for Dragon X Hydra, right?
Yep.
All right, yeah, 150%.
I mean, wrapped Ethereum Titan X 100% APR. You have a hyperdeflationary asset with a blue chip. Our ecosystem is too good. It's insane.
It is insane. What is it, like 1 million in volume? What qualifies to get on Titan Farms?
Good volume compared to market cap. Like it's
Okay.
Eric's protocol, but sustained volume is big because it needs to be worth the think emissions because the LP fee is burn think. So it needs to generate enough volume and it offsets the emissions to keep your spot on Titan Farms.
Gotcha.
Yeah, X28 Titan X, this is 30% a year to just hold two of the same, 0 and loss. And X28 think, 120%.
Oh, here it is. X28 Titanx. Okay, I didn't even see this one. Okay, when was this added? I don't know. Did I miss it or something?
I missed that as well.
Yeah, it was posted a little bit ago. Yeah, so I have X28 patch, you have X28 Titan X, and X28 think. X28 think is at the top. It's one of the highest APRs.
Oh, X28. Ah, okay. Gotcha.
The X28 Titan X, that's a cheat code. That's actually that's so insane. You could just, and you'd benefit from Titan X whilst receiving like an APR, which is just you don't see this anywhere else. We just want users, man. Where are they? More.
Exactly. Yep. Somebody asked when Shogun informs. So Shogun can be informed since it's Uniswap v2.
All right.
But Shogun has 0 LP issues. There's 2.3 million now because Titan X went down. Well, it was 2.5 million yesterday, $2.5 million because it was all priced in Titan X. So $2.5 million liquidity across all pairs. Like Shogun has 0 liquidity issues, but it can be on farm because it's Uniswap v2, which is needed for the vortex.
We should talk to Eric to extend Titan Farms to V2 pools as well.
Not sure if it's possible. It's a good question.
Yeah.
And then you also have to like pick favorites of like which one of the Shogun pairs gets it, you know?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, it could be probably, but I mean, it should be possible actually.
If it's in a mutable, because like interacting with Uniswap v3 code and Uniswap v2 code with a smart contract is very, very, very different. Like we had to rewrite a bunch of stuff from v3 to v2 initially because Shogun, the initial idea for Shogun was on v3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a big change going from v3 to v2.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I got to butt in here. Sorry, I got to drop off. If anybody wants to learn about Stacks or Draco, we're going to be over on Crypto Awesome's channel, and I think Helios is probably streaming it too. Be over there with Dude.
Nice.
Cool.
Good times. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
So, Mike, this Matrix could be on Titan Farms as well.
I mean, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's a Uniswap v3, so if there is enough volume, for sure, it can be on Titan Farms. So looking forward, man. So if there's going to be enough volume, I think Eric will add it.
Yeah.
He did tell me that already, but obviously we need to have enough volume. And also for Phoenix, the same way.
Yeah, very good point. I think, if there's enough volume, hopefully there will be. And we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, volume will track once consolidation phase ends. The volume across the ecosystem will go high again. Because right now it's just... Actually, the volume is not that bad. It's like 1.4 million.
That's what I'm most excited for. Like when things just go capped, like after Inferno became capped, it just absolutely... Especially if it's got constant fuel coming in through the buy and burns, that's what I'm excited for. Especially, Jake, have you heard about Matrix? Have you seen Matrix white paper yet?
Yes.
What do you think about the patient incentive pool?
I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's a really cool idea. Yeah, because if you can, because the buy and burn can do way more damage if people just wait and have a reason to wait during the creation phase of the supply. I think it's a great idea. And the initial idea was to inflate the supply to get the patient incentive pool, and then he tweaked it to the buy and burn feeds
Yeah.
the incentive pool. So much better.
Yeah.
So much better, yeah.
Yep.
And that was actually the idea when I talked to Eric, actually, because I was giving him like my idea, and then he was like, maybe like what if it comes from the buy and burn? And then I thought about it. I was like, I think it's much better, because then you're not inflating. It's like it's just circulating supply essentially. So, and it's actually from buying it, like whoever is selling at the moment, I guess then.
Yep.
So it's essentially like the people who were like the cohort of people who want to exit, giving to the people who are long-term believers. So I think it's great, man. I think it's great.
I can't wait to see how it plays out, because as well with the auctions, it's just the perfect like mechanism, really. Because if there's really low liquid supply and that buy and burn can do a lot, then it sets the new bar for the next auction. So I can't wait to see how it plays out. I think market, like hopefully everything's kind of going good when it launches, like sentiment wise, because that could be huge. Imagine everything starts pumping and then those auctions start taking off as well. It'd be like Volt. It'd be like what happened with Volt.
Well, yeah.
Hopefully,
we'll have to see how it works out, but yeah. Definitely looking.
So how long is the supply distribution for Matrix?
So the thing is, it's a 28-day, but in the first 8 days, 80% of the supply is in the first 8 days. So it's fairly short.
That's good.
Yeah. So that was one of the things I was thinking, like, was that probably too short? But then again, I was thinking, I mean, like you are essentially like forcing people to participate in those 8 days. In the rest of the days, obviously, it's a lot less supply distribution there. But then again, there are some plays there you can play for the patient incentive pool as well.
So the patient incentive pool is, I come in, I enter the auction for Matrix, I get my Matrix, and then I earn the patient's incentive pool the longer I wait and don't claim.
Exactly. So essentially, once you've entered the auction, you're automatically in the patient incentive pool. You don't have to do anything. 24 hours later, like 24 hours after at the end of the auction, 24 hours later, essentially, you can claim your tokens. You can choose to claim, but if you just wait longer, you're automatically in the patient incentive pool.
Is there a percentage that goes towards liquidity?
Let me just pull it up to make it a bit more clear. I'm gonna share this here. So the patient incentive pool is just basically here. So this is the buy and burn of the matrix, right? And whenever that triggers, not 100% of the Titan of matrix gets burned. 5% goes to the patient incentive pool. And this is so initially in the beginning, right? The patient incentive pool. This is the allocation. Like if you want to exit along the way, there's only going to be so much allocated for that day, and it's going to be proportionate to the share of the unclaimed tokens on that day. When you want to exit, that's how much tokens you can get out essentially. But it's the patient incentive pool is not static, right? So it is growing, and when people exit, obviously the patient incentive pool supply will come down. But now the people who are left behind, they have now a bigger share.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
And is there a percentage that feeds the hyper matrix liquidity pool?
I think it's 8% goes to from the of the Titanx that comes in.
Yeah, that illiquidity wallet. Yeah, that's all I need to know. That's good.
Yeah. There's the liquidity wallet, and then obviously there is 80% will be going to buying hyper, like buy pressure to hyper. 50% will be going to the matrix vault to buy hyper and then to be staked later on. And the other 50% of the 80% will be going to the buy and burn, which will start slowly buying hyper, and then the hyper will basically be buying matrix.
I think we
Right.
could see a similar thing what Hydra has. So obviously their buy and burn is bigger than pretty much their market cap. If this is basically going to be a buy and burn for Hyper, because you're locking away the tokens, or well, I mean, 50% of it's locked away forever. So you could kind of view it as like a buy and burn V2, V3, or whatever. But it's constant buy pressure coming in, and you could have, if you get good participation, this could be huge for Hyper, and it could
Yes.
help push up the price. Which obviously, if it does, mining becomes profitable, and then you're receiving the rewards from the stakes, and then it's all recycled. So it's a really good idea.
Yeah, it's gonna be extremely interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. And I think is like I've been explaining the patient incentive pool, the idea, and like a lot of people like this idea for some reason, and especially for the builders out there. I think you can do somewhat something very similar to this with a little variation. So you can add in a lot of variation to this, and this will make a lot of sense. So initially, what I thought actually what I would have liked it to be is give the users an option to just say like, hey, just lock me up for the next 30 days, and then give them an extra shares directly. Because now like they can get out at any time essentially. So it's like liquid staking, some people said, because like you are staked, but you can get out at any time essentially. Which is also good, but maybe the locking up, you are definitely sure that they're not going to be getting out. But it's the users choose it, right? So it's not like forced in some way.
Yeah, I like it. It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
But because like during supply creation, the longer people can wait, the better. Because then it's self-reinforcing with the buy and burn. Because it's less to buy back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the interesting thing about fair launches is, one, it's amazing marketing. Two, is because it's fair, you fairly give supply to believers and non-believers. Yes. Non-believers are annoying to handle it. So like in the beginning, yeah. So it's just every good thing washes out non-believers, and then does this thing, especially when it's fair. But then the cool thing is when they enter, they're defeating the protocol anyway. So like the long-term believers win by default because the protocol is now fair. They do their whatever the hell they want to do.
Yeah.
But then everybody wins in the end. So it's like a win-win-win. But yeah, that's the thing about fair. It's fair for everybody.
I think I really like the way you say it. It's like, yeah, you give it. It's a good thing about fair launch is like believers, non-believers. You distribute it to both of them fairly.
Yeah. Because if it's not fair, then you give it to non-believers by default because the supply will just get sniped up.
Yeah.
So like at least here you can get believers in without having them buy under X higher.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah.
I kind of see pros and cons to locking up for stakes though, because with this, Mike, it's like if they want to leave, they can. But I feel like with stakes, if you have a countdown and you have a in profit, it's very easy to just be in your head, okay, I'm just going to sell and take profit. But maybe if you have the constant option to get out, you're more willing to, I don't know. There's like psychology at play there, isn't there? Because you really don't know what would be more beneficial. People always having the option, or people like forced to be locked up.
The beauty of this is just that when you claim your tokens, essentially, like the people who are left behind, they have now a bigger share. So like, I mean, this is the beauty of it, right? I mean, yesterday I tried to explain it with like a pizza, which gets bigger and bigger, and then at some point, like your piece is so big, you're like, no, I'm gonna get out now. But the people you left behind, obviously, the pizza is now momentarily smaller, but now they get a bigger piece of it, and that piece keeps growing as well.
Yeah, I think a good strategy is just DCA, and then you could just claim, like if you did day 1 and day 2, if you wanted to take profit, you could just claim day 2 and then still have day 1 building.
Yeah.
I think doing the DCA strategy is good here.
And also you can enter the auctions multiple times. Like in the same day, you can just do 2 or 3. It's like,
good point.
It's you can enter more times. Like, I mean, your position is going to be the same.
1 second, be right back.
No worries.
Somebody's knocking.
No worries. So you are bidding essentially the same like, yeah. So I think that's the main point is like, if you, I've heard some people, what they want to do is essentially, they say they're going to do one third, one third, one third, right? One third, like probably for the short term play, if they want to do that, or maybe they reclaim and they'll see. The other third is like more like medium stage, and the other third like long term.
Yeah. But I like the idea of it being forever. Like the 5% of Matrix is always going to be fueling it.
Yeah.
There's going to be some people that just have a really long-term outlook. Hopefully the whales, smart whales, and like that supply is never going to touch market really until they'll take profit eventually.
Until they want to claim. And the thing is that once you claim, it's like, it's, I mean, it can just be on you in your wallet, you know. It's not like for taking profits. I mean,
Yeah.
But I mean, the beauty of this is you're not locked out, man. It's like, essentially, it's like you can get out anytime you want. You can claim your tokens anytime you want.
Yeah, but I do like that.
Yeah.
Because but it's also the game theory is if you're out forever.
Exactly. Once you're out, like, and the people who are basically behind, they have a bigger share now. And that 5%. And by the way, imagine now everybody claim their tokens, which I mean could also happen. That 5% will be burned, by the way, as well. So
okay.
I have that logic that it also just burns then.
What happens if there's just like one user?
Yeah, he will be getting all the 5% then.
Just becomes a massive whale. I mean,
last man standing.
Yeah. I mean, eventually that could happen, theoretically.
That could happen, yeah. I mean, I'm really looking forward to see how this plays out. One thing I was a bit, you know, the way it is, like sometimes you see it's like, hey, this will be your share today, but it only shows you like what your share is today if you'd exit today, obviously, right? So if somebody exit on that day, the patient incentive pool supply will go down. So your share will momentarily show a lower price or like a lower amount than yesterday. And I was thinking, it's like, oh, maybe some people will not understand this very well, you know?
Yeah, maybe they'll get scared and just.
It's like, hey, why do I have less now than yesterday? Yeah, but it's like somebody decided to leave. But if they check their share will be going up. So anyway, there's definitely some plays which I try my best to just show it in the UI so that it's really clear to the people. But yeah, we're gonna see, man. I'm really looking forward to this.
Like, I feel like this is going to be a new standard for, like, obviously the auctions. Steve created them, and like they are insane, and like so many projects are kind of taking the inspiration. But I think this just makes sense, so much sense, especially for launches, because even if it was just like say 30 days or 60 days and 90 days, if a lot of that supply isn't on market at launch, it could do like the buy and burn is just so much more effective. And it can do so much more numbers. Like, I think a lot of projects are gonna have variations of this.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see how it works out. I think, well, I believe it's a good idea. And if it turns out to be working really well like this, then man, I mean, like, as we know, man, it's like good ideas should be taken and the shitty ones left behind.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I have whenever I hear a good idea, no matter how well my thought process was before, I drop my idea for a better idea.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's like
and that's what's so good about this ecosystem. All the new projects are kind of taking bits here and there, and it's like innovation on innovation on innovation to get the perfect kind of product. And I think it's just going to continue. I see no reason why. There are so many builders now. All these new projects are just going to be building on top of building, and all the layers are just going to get insane. And it's going to positively impact all of Titanx.
Oh yeah. The thing I like the most about multiple builder teams is it's multiple marketing angles and multiple marketing teams. And it's like a group of people working together instead of just one dude being super loud.
Mm-hmm.
I think because like on the website I put out distributed marketing, because it is a big idea in decentralized companies. You want to have the company is not even the right word. It's like a decentralized entity in cyberspace, like Titanx. Everything needs to be self-incentivized to operate self-incentivized to operate in a decentralized manner. So the more builder teams we have, the more marketing angles we have, the more new ideas we have, like Eric doing the mainstream marketing with KLs, etc. Me doing the more community activating grassroots marketing, you guys all streaming. Like the more builders teams we have and the more incentivized people we have all around the world at different time zones, different marketing strategies, different backgrounds, the stronger it gets. Because theoretically, you could do Titanx and launch all the protocols yourself, but it would just be shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the power is in it's all different people. It's not the same dude. Like we have so many marketing angles. It's just activating. I think the big thing is just the unique selling proposition, the 3 bullet points: hyperdeflationary DeFi 3.0 fair launch ecosystem, hyperdeflationary DeFi 3.0 fair launch ecosystem. Those are 3 big ones to market. X28 Omni-chain, tooling for the community, and then community activation. Like constantly talk about, hey, tweet, engage. And then TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Yeah, marketing is the thing now. Almost 100% of the energy should go there.
It's definitely coming.
So
it's
Jake,
definitely all coming.
Let me ask you another question here regarding. I'm just on the X screener here, and I think on the left side, if I'm not mistaken, this is by volume. The order here.
Yeah, but there's some weird shit going on. Click on Sui.
Let me click on Sui. Okay.
Look at the volume. 223 million. Click on BSC.
BSC.
Click on Binance Smart Chain.
Yeah. 14
billion. I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but there's definitely some under the table payments going.
There must be. Okay, so what's on base now? 1.9 billion. How much is BC? 14 billion. Damn. Okay, so Sui is paying somebody here.
Exactly.
Someone's taking some kind of huge cut. How have they done that?
Well, money talks, I guess. All right, but okay, so 5.2 billion is Solana, 1.69 billion Ethereum.
Yeah, I don't know how it's ordered. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier, it's like I think you also asking questions on Twitter, right? Where we should be going next. So I think, what was it? Base, Solana, and what was the third one?
Postchain.
Oh, Postchain. Okay. Well, Postchain is actually not volume-wise not doing too bad. 54 million now.
Yeah, it's just because of the community overlap primarily. It's also EVM ecosystem, so it's relatively simple. Like the movers is base Solana, I think.
Base Solana, okay.
Maybe Optimism Arbitrum, but I don't remember the last time I've been to Arbitrum. I used to do some DeFi stuff there, and then that's basically it. Like, who goes to Arbitrum? Base, okay, there's the stuff happening there. They're trying to be unique. Like, they have a good value proposition. Solana, yeah, that's just, the crack addict in the room, like in the corner. That's Solana. At least on base, there's some good stuff going on.
Yes.
Seriously, oh my god. So. Did you see those fun live streams? I'm like, oh my god, I'm fucking ashamed.
Yeah.
I wanted to go cry in a corner, but I'm like, oh my fucking god.
I saw one, and it was like, he was in the dog cage, and he was like, I'm not leaving this dog cage until I get like 20 million market cap. And I was just like, what?
I'm like, that's a good idea. Stay in there. Hopefully your camera dies.
Oh god, yeah, but they had to turn it off. I think, right? It was just getting out of hand.
I can imagine.
That was crazy. Okay, but I think also what you mentioned here, this was also a bit weird, right? Because if we check Pulse Chain here, we're 54 million. Hyperliquid, there is 293 million. So the order here is also...
I want maybe it's definitely not transactions. I don't know what they're ordering it on, actually.
I don't know. Okay. Anyhow, it is what it is. Yeah, but I mean, 54 million Pulse Chain, not bad. Solana.
Do base again?
Base we have 1.98 billion. Not bad.
Yeah, it might be based maybe on transactions. I don't know. Well, I like base a lot. I listen to some streams for the actual builder team behind base. They have great ideas, and they're definitely not in it to extract as much value as possible. Like they're not even planning to launch a token until like 5-10 years from now. They're just like, we want to just build cool shit. That's all they want to do. And of course, there's capitalism behind it, like everything else. But like base, I like base a lot. They seem like really good dudes.
Great. One thing I've seen on base as well is like they're giving some grants as well to build on base in some ways. I'm not sure, like I haven't really looked into it, but I'm following one of the guys who's building on base, and I think there's some grants for them as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it could be probably an interesting play actually to go on base and be really loud there, and we can somewhat like dominate as well, and probably get some good connection with base.
Yeah, maybe we could.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if something like Titan Farms launches on base, definitely going to make a lot of noise. There's just like some of the Titanx ecosystem being there. Okay, I like the idea of like the way Facebook used to grow back in the day is they started with one college, then everybody in the college uses it, and then they went on to the second college, and then once they got the second one out, then they went on to the third one, and then they started exponentially scaling out. But they started with 1, then 2, then 3. So I'm leaning towards doing like 1 and then maybe 2. We did some overlap with Pulse Chain, base. I like base a lot. So I'm probably going to do Pulse Chain base, because Pulse Chain we can just do it through the bridge. There's no layer 0 integration needed there.
Gotcha.
Because it's ERC20 rapid bridge. So like that one's pretty easy. You just need liquidity to make it buildable. And then base, we need the layer 0 integration. So we just need to deploy some stuff there and then link it up.
Okay. I think that makes a lot of sense.
So let's say we're going to base, right? And you have X28 there. You can just go to x28.win and then click the bridge, and you can bridge your tokens essentially to base, right? And the beauty of the X28 now is all the X28 tokens production, or like, is that production or creation?
Oh yeah, this is important. Exactly. So when X28 goes to other chains, it's non-dilutive, meaning that all the price action that happens for X28 on base, Solana, Pulse Chain, Dawn, Arbitrum, etc., that is the same token. So that price is the same across all chains. So it moons on one chain, it moons on all chains. X28 is Titanx. So as it goes above 1-to-1 peg on another chain, it burns Titanx. Because people are going to arbitrage, and arbitrage bots running back and forth at layer 0 already. So like it's essentially just taking a chunk of the Titanx supply, which is an X28 form, which is a chunk of the supply, placing another chain, which makes all the movement on Ethereum that much more violent, because it's essentially a form of supply locking on another chain. So like it creates all these supply locks across all chains, and then you build on it, which makes it super light to move on Ethereum. And we have hyperdeflation. Like the more supply gets burned, the lighter it is to move. It's like a slingshot. The harder you pull it back, the only difference is the slingshot gets. It's like instead of it being like a massive rock that you're trying to slingshot back, it's like the rock gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So when it finally slingshots, it's a small rocket, and it goes super far. Like the other cool thing about hyperdeflation is it makes the market cap smaller because the supply gets burnt. So it's always small, which is good because people can see opportunity in the future. Once your market cap's too big, people are like, okay, yeah. But then if it stays small because the supply is burning, it becomes lighter to move its smaller market cap, and then you have all these supply sinks and supply locks on all of the chains. People build on it. It burns Titanx on Ethereum. It's been a damn fucking good formula.
So what are the LP pools going to be? Like, say if we go to base X28, I guess it's just going to be ETH in for base. But let's say if we're going to BSC, like Binance Chain,
BNB. So X28 is going to have native pairs on all chains. So X28 Ethereum on base, X28 Sol on Solana, X28 BNB, X28 Pulse Chain, X28 Ethereum on Arbitrum, etc. So it's just X28 is going to have native pairs.
I see. Okay. What was the reasoning to choose it that way and just not stick to, let's say, ETH?
Oh, because it's just a native coin of the chain. That's the only reason.
Okay.
If we could do Ethereum everywhere, we would.
Okay. I mean, okay. Yeah, it's better to have it on the native one, because the bridge version, there's always a bit of risk of whatever happens to it. Like, you never know. Yeah, native. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Also, just from the security standpoint of view.
Yeah, it's also just easiest for the user because everybody has a native asset on the chain. Like on Ethereum, it's just, you have Ethereum, you buy Titanx. Yeah. So it's easiest close to the user.
So for the people who are going to build, let's say on, I don't know, let's say on base now, right? We have X28 there. How is the building going to look there then, actually?
On base, it depends. It depends on what people want to build, essentially, because it's just the same ethos ported over. So like if you build on base on X28, you would use X28 as input, or use Ethereum, which is a native token, and then buy X28, then do your thing. So it's essentially the exact same ethos on other chain, because other chains have different communities. Like maybe on base, we'll see like a whole meme coin ecosystem built on top of X28.
Gotcha.
Because it's like a different culture over there. Maybe on Solana, we'll see, I don't know, a dude putting stuff up his ass on a live stream and X28 paired to it. Yeah. So every chain has its own culture. We might see a bunch of GameFi. There's so many jokes to make around Solana. I like the founder. He's smart. Oh, fuck me.
It's gonna be great.
It's so good. So we're literally recreating the good things about Titanx on Ethereum on all of these different, like the same ethos, like all the stacked liquidity pools, everything. You can just kind of replicate it again, and you can have a better idea of what works and what doesn't work.
And X28 starts as a hyperdeflationary core on its ecosystem because the Titanx supply is already out. So because the less Titanx supply that exists, the less X28 can get created. A lot of people are never going to want to convert to X28. So X28 will start off hyperdeflationary on all chains. So all the chains by default have a hyperdeflationary core asset.
Which is insane. So if I moved my X28 over to base, let's say, can I move it back to Ethereum?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you'll be able to go Ethereum base Ethereum. For just every single permutation you'll be able to do.
That's great. Yeah. You can move anywhere essentially, right? I mean, Layer 0 is great because the thing about why I like Layer 0 as well is because you burn it on one chain and then it creates it on the other chain. And the beauty is if let's say Layer 0 goes out, you still have those tokens natively in that chain. That's correct, right?
Yep. Exactly.
So you can't get drugged like in a bridge.
Yep.
And this is happening this bull run.
Yep.
Yeah. Man. This it's just so nuts. Like I kind of went through the process when I was building. I was like, oh, should I risk it? Should I not? But it just makes so much sense, man. Titanx is going to be so. This has never been done before, and like we're talking about, not a lot of users, and there should be more. But how lucky are we? Obviously, Jake, you created it, but me and Mike, how lucky are we to be here, kind of experiencing it at the very beginning?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
So crazy.
Everything starts so small. Like Ethereum was a $20 million market cap thing at the start as well. But yeah. Like this is crazy because like even like when Bitcoin was, for example, at $30, people were like, "Oh, this is never going to $1,000. It's never going to $100." Like people won't adopt this shit, and now we're at 100,000. Like as long as you have a good community and it's innovative, and people stick around and they care and has a good mission, it's hard to kill. It's very, very hard to kill. So something has to go terribly wrong.
Yeah.
And all I see is good stuff. Like just builders up, adoption up, users are still growing even during consolidation phase. Volume seems to be very steady, like we're 1.4 million today. Shogun is doing incredibly well. X28 is doing incredibly well. We'll have Omni-chain coming. Marketing is getting dialed in. Just community activation and just hardcore focus on marketing.
I've got a question. Do you wish you made the Titanx increase in difficulty even more aggressive?
Nah, I think it's the sweet spot. I think it's a sweet spot because we got the entire community in at a fair rate. That's big because that's the only way to get people to care, because they felt like I created this thing. Like I was part of the birth, the genesis, the idea of this thing. Yeah. So if you give later users less value too quickly, you don't really have a core community. Because like the big thing, all the things that got big in crypto is it because it rewarded early users heavily, so they kept caring because the ecosystem treated them well. That's a big thing. That's why VC shit never has any community. Because they launched at $1 billion valuation, people buy. They're like, oh yeah, maybe I'll get a 2-3x. It goes to 2-3 billion, and all they get is just being dumped on. Like nobody cares, nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody doesn't like it. They weren't there at the beginning. They feel like everybody has overpowered them. They got insider deals that they didn't even have access to. So like it's impossible for them to build community. But at least here we had enough time to build a community, enough time to adopt builders, and the builders are building because they had a fair opportunity of being there at the start. Like they care, they were here, and they have their percentage of supply, so they want to see it do good. I think everything was just good. Even the T rank bonus did exactly what it needed to do. Just boost the network adoption, get people to talk about it. Seemed to have worked out very, very well. I like it.
I think the way I kind of view Titanx as well is like what you were saying before, you can't recreate it. Like, I think one of the reasons Bitcoin is so just immense and it's going to be adopted is because it's kind of had this time to mature and has this huge audience behind it. And it's kind of the same with Titanx. You couldn't, like you said, you couldn't be some random dude who creates something that's hyperinflationary and then really try people to build a community around building projects on it. It's just, you can't do that now. I think Titanx has gone through kind of that maturity that now it's at the perfect time. You can't recreate it. And now, even if anyone was thinking about recreating it, it just makes more sense to build it on Titanx.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so good. I mean, you must feel like pretty good, right? Like everything's going in the right direction. But I mean, where do you kind of see Titanx going? Do you think it could be like really up there with some of the best cryptos?
Why not? Because when you look at, so Titanx is already, like not too long ago, we were a top 400 crypto in the world.
Crazy.
Top 400, that's insane. That is out of, oh my God, okay, there's 2.4 million cryptos out there. So we were in the top 400, which means we are the 0.0001% of crypto.
That's a good stat.
Yeah, it is. It's really good.
Amazing.
Oh, by the way, guys, tomorrow I've got a stream at 6. You're both invited for Phoenix launch.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We'll be there for sure.
Okay, so Phoenix launch tomorrow, December 17th, Matrix launch. Then we have the Stacks launch. We have Gotex, Ouroboros. December looks like a fun month. And this is the perfect time to launch.
I think so.
You just need to market hard.
Yes. Yeah. That's what we're working on.
Mike, we said we were going to do a short stream 2.5 hours later.
Exactly. I was like, oh, we're going to do a short stream and I'm going to go to sleep. Wake up tomorrow early.
Yeah, but we can cap it off. I think we talked about everything. And then tomorrow I'm streaming with Callum.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll be.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll join tomorrow as well.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, Jake, though. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
My headache is kind of gone. My
Really?
headache is kind of
You
gone.
see? You
We
should
healed
be
him.
more to streams, man.
Right? Just talk about some Solana BDSM and the headache is gone.
By the way, boys, here also join the Telegram of Phoenix. It's gonna be launching tomorrow, and yeah, Callum is gonna be waiting for you there. If you have any questions,
Yes.
it'll be great, man. Really looking forward, man.
17.5 hours. Oh my God. 17.5 hours to launch.
17.5 hours. Oh, that's good. That's good, man. All right, boys. I think that's it.
Adios.
Yeah.
Great stream.
Thank you for being here. All right, man. Have a good one. Talk to you